Welcome to the Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering Charlotte's business scene. Real stories, real entrepreneurs right here in the Queen City. Today we're joined by Douglas Fitzgerald with LKNConnect. Doug, we're excited to have you on the show. Let's start at Chapter 1. How did you make your way here to the Charlotte area?
Well, Greg, it's a long story, but I'll try and make it short. I was in Philadelphia. I was a professor at Immaculata University, and I'd built a website for baby boomers. We called it Boomer Living. And so it did well. We sold it to an insurance company, and I retired from education in 2006.
Okay.
And then I was looking to move back to North Carolina. I'm originally from North Carolina, the eastern part of the state. So I did. I moved back and met a nice young lady here, and she wanted to live in Lake Norman. So I got here and decided to make another website, very similar to Boomer Living, but this time it's LKNConnect. And what it does, my specialty is social media, not social media, but social change.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to help society come up to where technology is and businesses come up to where technology is. So hence why we're very interested in video.
Mm-hmm.
We're very interested in what's happening now, trending, up-to-date technology. So we started in 2018, we started LKNConnect, and it's grown. I just told this morning at a meeting, our range right now of getting to people just on Facebook is over 800,000 a month.
Jeez.
So we're actually getting out there. People are beginning to look at us and listen to us and all this type. So we're excited. It's growing.
Yeah.
So that's how I got here, and that's what's happening.
Awesome. So did you always have? Let's rewind from before. You said you were a professor. I guess let's start with that because that was probably one of your first jobs, I imagine. So like, how did your professional journey start? Was it always in entrepreneurship? What were you doing at the beginning?
I was fortunate that I was blessed with some talent. So I was a music major and went to East Carolina, and then went from East Carolina up north to a little place called Clinton, New York. And so I got up there, and coming from North Carolina, it was 20 below zero during the winter, and I can't take this. So the high school where I was teaching at that time, the principal said, "How'd you like to move to Philadelphia?" I said, "It's got to be warmer than it is here." So we moved to Willow Grove, which was home of John Philip Sousa, and so I had a lot of big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed there, and then I was fortunate enough to kind of be chosen to conduct throughout Europe, this type of thing. Then go to the University of the Arts, where I became the director of their conservatory. And from there, just one thing led to another, and then I retired in 2006. I went back and got a doctorate in social change at Immaculata, and then they invited me to stay on staff. So I stayed there. So that's how I got.
I had no idea that you have this musical background. This is all news to me, man.
Yeah, my claim to fame is, well, I'm much older than you think. Maybe not, but I was with the Platters and Danny Thomas and the Temptations and that type of thing. So,
wow, that's way back there.
Yeah, way back.
So you transitioned from that into starting this website. I forget what you call it, Boomer something. So
Boomer Living.
What motivated that?
Well, I had two friends that lost their job, and they were in their 50s and maybe 60s. They were too young to retire. They couldn't get Social Security, and they were too old to find a job. They were said to be in the black hole. So I had the chance to go out and study with a guy, Richard Bowles, in Oregon. So I spent 3 weeks with him. He's the career person. Mm-hmm. And just changed everything about the way I looked at things. So when I finished with him, I came back and helped people like the two people I went there for, and helped people find jobs that they were too old to find. And we did an analysis of their personality. We did everything and made a recommendation and suggestion of what they should do. Mm-hmm. And now they're happy. And so I went around to helping people like that.
That's awesome. And so that was all while you're still in Philly, right?
Yeah, I was just I was north of Philadelphia in Lansdale, and then I taught in Center City at the University of the Arts. At that time, it started out as College of Performing Arts. That's where I was head of the conservatory. Then it became College of Performance. Then it was University of the Arts.
Awesome. So you moved down here to Charlotte, and was it just your mindset that you were like, hey, when I move or to the Lake Norman area, you're like, when I move, I want to start this? Was that your mindset, or were you doing other things when you first moved down here?
No, I moved here primarily to meet this lady that I've found, and she was interesting. I'm not very good at talking, and on the phone, if you get me more than 2 minutes, you've accomplished something big. So we spent 5 hours a day on the phone. And I said, I better go down and meet this lady. So I did, liked it. She wanted to live near water. She was in High Point. So we found a place in Mooresville, and then later moved over to Cornelius. And so at that time, I thought, this place really needs something to help the businesses. There's so many businesses here, and many of them have no clue of what's going on.
Mm.
So I said, this is a good place for something like Boomer Living.
Yeah.
So we did a search, and called it LKNConnect, to connect the businesses with the community. So that's what we do.
So yeah, tell me more. Let's dig into that now. So LKNConnect. I know I've known about this company for quite some time. I feel like I was there when you were kind of conceptualizing it, because we've been friends for a while now. Tell the people if you had some time to explain it. What exactly is LKNConnect?
We started out with a kind of an online digital magazine to develop a relationship with the community. That's where the 800,000 comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So we developed this relationship with the community. So if we say, hey, that business is pretty good, people go, oh, that's pretty good. We just did one last week. It was 63,000 people thought it was great. So
wow.
We developed that for a reason. Then from there, we branched out to the businesses. So we bring businesses in, and then we help them with visibility. If no one knows about you, they aren't going to come to your door.
That's right.
So we help with visibility. So we have 7 steps of visibility. We start them out very easy. We get them all, processed and everything get started. And then we help them with a process of steps. Mm-hmm. And we don't sell them anything. We just, when they're ready to move up for visibility, then they can move up. The 7th step is the big one. Mm. That's where you're the top of mind authority. We call it TOMA. And when you get there, you're as good as Morris Jenkins. Everybody knows about you. So if somebody says, I'm looking up whatever, they go, I've seen them on LKNConnect because I trust LKNConnect. Mm. So that's the whole premise. That's the whole objective of how we do it. We've developed a relationship with the community, and then we invite businesses in. We feature right now about 18 businesses a week.
Wow.
And so it's prime for us to go talk to them. Then we invite them in to either interview them, put them on a video. Very few of them say, I don't want to do this.
Sure.
So we bring them in and interview them just like we're talking now, and we get their story out. We want to get their story out. Once people in the community see the story, then they're excited. They go, that guy might be worth doing business with. And he's local, and we push local. That's the way we go. So that's the whole thing. It's pretty simple. There's no hidden agenda.
So it's definitely a more unique idea. I feel like most people I talk to, they're in a category of a lot of other people doing similar things. I don't know if this is exactly one of those categories. I don't know a whole lot of other people doing similar things. But in your experience, what are other avenues that people are exploring to try to accomplish what you guys are accomplishing for them? And what are ways that you kind of stick out from that crowd?
Sure. We go to a lot of businesses, and I'll say, how are you getting the word out? And they go, we're putting on social media. I said, how you do it? Well, we hired a social media guy for X millions of dollars.
And they don't know what that means. They just say we hired him.
We hired somebody. And then they go there, and I say, well, how's your traffic? Not very good. Well, then how are you identifying with the community? They go, I don't know. So visibility is part of it. They've got to have the social media, but then credibility is number 2. And they've got to get that credibility. And we give them the credibility because we're an established organization. Yeah. So with us, they get the credibility, they get all the things that go with it, all the accoutrements and all the benefits, and that helps. And then community connection. That's when we connect them. That's our big one. So those are the 3 things. We're looking at a 4th one, but I can't tell you about that now. That's even bigger.
Can't give away all the secrets.
I can't give away all the secrets, but these 3 are big. So visibility, credibility, and community connection. And we do all 3 very well.
Yeah. Well, how do you get something like this started? I mean, obviously it's a big undertaking. I remember when you were getting it launched and the meetings we would have with 15, 20 people, and I'm like, how do you How do you conceptualize getting something like that off the ground? What did it take?
It's very interesting. When you're a change person, you start out, and the nice part about it is you have no idea where it's going to end up because there's so many influences that come along. So many. And they did. I tell everybody I stepped in every cow pie there was in Lake Norman. And so what happened is through a process of trial and error and mistakes, we grew. And fortunately, people like us or trust us. That's the big thing. As you know, the know, like, trust part.
It's a big thing. It's real.
Thing. So we've got that. We will not put anything out that's weird. If anything is, we'll take it down. And so far, knock on wood, we haven't had to. And so we put it out. We put about 3 articles out a day. Many of them are businesses. We tell their stories. We get anchors. We've got a brand new anchor. She's fantastic. And she's good. I want you to meet her. But anyway.
Great. Love it. She can take my job.
Yeah, she'll be doing interviews too. And we're bringing on more anchors. We find that we can't get the stories out fast enough. We had, like, at a meeting this morning, there were 60 people there. They all lined up this anchor to get their story out. And we're going, I need more anchors. We've got to get this out because the stories need to be told.
Yeah.
And just like here, I'm telling you my story.
Yeah.
You're going to have 40 more people in tomorrow. The story has to get out. And that's what we're trying to do.
That's awesome. So for you, I mean, obviously you do a ton, and you've been doing these things for a long time. Is there something that you love most about what you get to do, as an entrepreneur, but also as the owner of LKNConnect?
Yeah, I'm learning every day. Okay, the trial and error, the learning curve. I'm getting to know more about software, platforms, and how to use that. And I can be very creative. And coming from music, I like the creative side. And then I'll look at something and say, this is terrible. And then I'll say, let's do this better. So we're trying to make it more like a magazine.
Yeah.
Magazine quality is what we go after. So, yeah, I use AI. A lot of people say, you're using AI, that's terrible. Well, no, get your head out of the sand.
Yeah,
it's here.
It's the times, man.
It's the times.
Got to evolve with them.
Yeah, and they may have some faults, but they're getting better every day, and you can see it from us. We started out with all the blurry colors and all this kind of stuff. They go, oh, that's AI. And yeah, sure. Now we're into some very good stuff. And so it's only been through our participation and getting to learn more about it. And it's going to get better and better. So if you're not in AI, you might as well start. That learning curve is interesting. So do it.
Gotta get into it.
Yeah.
What are some of the big obstacles you've faced with growing what you've grown now, and with where you're at? What are some of the things that you have to start overcoming?
We've been building and building and building. Now we've just about got it. And of course, being a creative guy and a visionary type is what I'm labeled as. I got 2 or 3 more projects after this, but my associate is saying, no, you got to get this one done right now before we move on. So we've been trying to. I introduce new things, and I've got to the point that I can't say I got something new. I say, okay, we're going to work on this.
Yeah.
So the obstacle is getting everything done enough so that it works itself.
Yeah.
And right now we're there. It's we got 2 or 3 more tweaks to do on the website, and it's Katie bar the door is moving. Once it moves, then I get to be creative again. I get to be a builder. I can build 2 more platforms.
That is the thing, right? You start something, but then that bug gets you, and then you're like, well, I just want to start a new thing. I just want to start a new thing. And then it does take somebody to hone you in and say,
yes,
focus on this for now.
I need somebody around me that will anchor me and say, hey, we can't do that yet. We got to do this right now. So that's where we are. And he's good.
Yeah.
And he's like a brother. And so we tangle. And I'm saying, I don't want to do it. No, we need to do this. But he's good.
Well, those are such important people to find, and that's, I feel like a lot of people struggle with that side of growing is the scaling. Like, how do I take what I do and what I trust myself with, and how do I start handing it off to people? How have you overcome those things?
We're there now. Today.
Yeah, still there. Yeah,
we're there, and we're looking people to come on board. Yeah, I know the whole operation. I'm trying to share it now, so I'm looking.
Yeah.
How can I share this so that I don't have to do this every day, all day, and so I can get to relax a little bit. So, yes, I'm ready to share. Mm-hmm. So we're looking if everybody wants
so this is how you do it right now, is you just go out and ask.
Just say, hey, you can get involved. It's great. I met with someone yesterday. She's nearing retirement. Mm-hmm. She's asking herself, what's next? What can I do that I like to do? I'm creative. I've got all this stuff going on. You do a lot of things I like to do. I said, well, why not come on board with us? I think she's coming. So we're excited. And that's the way it's done.
Yeah.
Talking, and from here, maybe we'll get 4 or 5 more people. And we don't have any salespeople. We call them visibility strategists. So they will work with a business from step 1 to step 7. And they don't move until the business is ready. The business is ready to move up to step 2, they go. The more or the higher they go with the visibility steps, the more visibility they get. When they get to 7, they're pretty much every day.
Well, I feel like it's appropriate that you're creating something called LKNConnect because you kind of strike me as one of the more connected people. With the people that you know, I feel like it's just like endless. How did you go and make those connections? Like, I mean, if I was watching and I was a young entrepreneur and I was like, this guy seems so plugged in, how does somebody get there?
I don't know. I started networking, went to a lot of networking business meetings or networking meetings. We now have Jim Vogel, Small Business, as a partner. We have the Lake Norman Citizen, which is print, as a partner. So we just have kind of networked. We've got a lot of associates, okay, that we deal with. So if we need somebody for videography, we say, hey, why don't you go here? And if you need social media, go here. We do social media, but we're not a social media company. A social media company is going to put you in 3 or 4 times a week. Doesn't do much, but it's okay. And they do get you out there. But then the other 2 steps, the credibility and the community connection, are important that they don't do that. Some are trying. So we do associates. And if we see somebody we think they have talent and that we would like to work with them, we say, how'd you like to sit down and talk? And that's the way it works.
So if you could talk to, let's say there is somebody that's out there that is trying to start something, they're young in their career, their business, their entrepreneurial journey. What's a piece of advice you give that person as far as just the things that you've learned over time about growing things, starting things? What's maybe the biggest thing that you've learned?
Try and get the concept on paper if you can. Put down
Smart.
what you want. Get your business plan. It won't be the same in a year. It'll change 15 times. But at least that's a starting point.
Yeah.
And then call us, and we will coach you through all 7 steps. That's the way it's done. Because if you have to figure it out like I did and step in every cow pie, I wish I had had a coach. I wish I'd had somebody who knew. But at that time, since we're kind of novel, no one knew what to do with us. So we're going over here, we're going over there trying. And that's where we are. And then we've kind of singled it out right now. We kind of know where we are. And so a young person doing an entrepreneurship, give us a call. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can tell you where to go. And we start out at $75 a month, okay? It grows considerably high after that, but we start you out so that you can afford it.
Yeah. Awesome. So if somebody was watching, they were interested in this, how could they get in contact with you? How could they find LKNConnect?
Mine's easy. It's LKNConnect.com. I'm D. Fitzgerald at LKNConnect.com. It's very simple. Somebody said, do you have a card? No, just call me. D. Fitzgerald at LKNConnect.com. D. Fitzgerald at LKNConnect.com. It's very easy.
That's awesome. Well, Doug, thank you so much for being on the show. We're excited to have you. This has been Doug Fitzgerald with LKNConnect. And like always, I am Greg Prinz with the Chapter 1 podcast.